Haythem stood on the edge of the forest, the gentle wind ruffling the edges of his dark blue robes. His staff glistened in the midday sun, a faint aura of magic crackling around its crystal tip. He adjusted the strap of his satchel, filled with vials, herbs, and a myriad of strange components. Only one ingredient remained for his teleportation potion, a single lily petal from the heart of the Forest of Whispers. And so, Haythem took a deep breath and stepped forward into the dense woods, his journey beginning. The air grew cooler and thick with the scent of earth and leaves as he ventured deeper. Shafts of sunlight filtered through the canopy above, casting dappled light upon the mossy ground. The forest was ancient, and with every step, Haythem could feel the magic of the place pulsing all around him. Trees seemed to whisper his name, and the wind carried the echoes of forgotten spells. Despite the ethereal beauty, Haythem's mind was focused on his mission. The lily he sought was a rare flower, said to bloom in a hidden grove protected by layers of enchantment. With that petal, he would finally complete the teleportation potion, an elixir that would allow him to travel anywhere in the world in the blink of an eye. It was an ambitious goal, but Haythem was nothing if not determined. As he carefully navigated a cluster of thick roots, his foot caught on something small. He stumbled, but quickly regained his balance, looking down to see a peculiar mushroom growing at the base of a tree. It was tall for a mushroom, about the size of a small child, with a cap that shimmered in shades of purple and blue. It had eyes, bright, curious eyes, and a small mouth that seemed to twitch into a smile. "Careful where you step," said the mushroom, in a voice that was high-pitched but friendly. Haythem blinked in surprise. He had encountered many magical creatures in his lifetime, but this was the first time he had come across a talking mushroom. "Apologies," Haythem said, stepping back. "I didn't mean to disturb you." "No harm done," said the mushroom, its smile growing wider. "I'm Spore. You're not from around here, are you? I can tell." Haythem chuckled, kneeling to be at eye level with the curious little creature. "You're right, Spore. I'm Haythem, a wizard on a quest to find a lily flower petal. Do you happen to know where I might find one?" Spore tilted his head, his cap rippling with color as he thought. "A lily flower, you say? Oh, I know where those grow. They're in a secret grove, hidden deep within the forest, but it's not easy to get there. Lots of twists and turns, and the path can get confusing if you don't know the way." Haythem's eyes lit up with hope. "Could you guide me there?" Spore beamed. "Of course. I love exploring the forest. It'll be an adventure." And so, the two set off together. Haythem offered his shoulder for Spore to ride on, and the mushroom gladly accepted, climbing up with surprising agility. Perched atop Haythem's shoulder, Spore began to chatter excitedly about the forest and the many strange creatures that lived within. As they walked, their conversation turned to magic. "You must have seen all kinds of magical things, being a wizard and all," Spore said with awe. Haythem smiled. "I have. Once I stood upon the peak of the tallest mountain in the land and watched as a dragon soared across the sky, its wings like thunderclouds. Its breath could melt stone, yet its scales shimmered with 1,000 colors in the sun. It was a truly magnificent sight." Spore gasped. "A dragon? I've always wanted to see one. I've heard tales of them from other forest creatures, but I've never met one myself." "They're rare," Haythem said thoughtfully. "And very wise, too. Dragons don't often reveal themselves to humans or even wizards, but when they do, it's an unforgettable experience." Spore nodded, wide-eyed. "The most magical thing I've ever seen is the moon blossom," he said. "It only blooms once a year, when the moon is at its highest point in the sky. Its petals glow with a soft light, and they say if you make a wish when you see it, the forest will grant it. Haythem raised an eyebrow. Have you made a wish? Spore nodded. I wished for my family to always be safe and happy. And ever since we've had peaceful days. The forest takes care of us, and we take care of the forest in return. Haythem smiled at the simplicity of Spore's wish. It reminded him of why he had become a wizard in the first place. Not for power or fame, but for the chance to make the world a little better, a little more magical. After hours of walking and talking, the trees began to thin, and Spore pointed ahead with one of his small, stubby arms. We're almost there. The grove is just beyond that hill. The grove was a hidden paradise. Lush green grass carpeted the ground, and vibrant flowers of every color bloomed in abundance. In the center of the grove was a small pond, its surface so still it looked like glass. And there, by the water's edge, stood the lily, its delicate white petals shining like stars against the emerald green leaves. Haythem approached the flower with reverence. He carefully plucked a single petal, feeling the powerful magic radiating from it. This was it, the final ingredient for his teleportation potion. He smiled with satisfaction, then turned to Spore, who was watching with quiet excitement. Thank you, Spore, Haythem said, bowing his head in gratitude. I couldn't have done this without you. Spore blushed, if mushrooms could blush. It was my pleasure. I'm glad I could help. As a token of his appreciation, Haythem reached into his satchel and pulled out a small vial. He quickly mixed together a few ingredients, his hands moving with practiced ease. A soft glow emanated from the vial as he finished the potion and held it out to Spore. Here, Haythem said, this is a teleportation potion. Drink it, and you'll be able to travel anywhere you wish in an instant. Consider it my gift to you for guiding me here. Spore looked at the vial, then back at Haythem. He smiled, shaking his head gently. That's very kind of you, but I don't need it. I have everything I need right here in the forest. My family, my friends. This is my home, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Haythem was touched by the mushroom's contentment. He nodded and tucked the potion back into his satchel. Very well, but know that if you ever change your mind, the offer stands. Spore beamed. Thank you, Haythem, but I think I'll stay right where I am. After all, I wouldn't want to miss next year's moon blossom. They shared a warm smile before parting ways. As Haythem began his journey back through the forest, he couldn't help but reflect on the simplicity of Spore's life. Though the mushroom had never seen dragons or cast spells, his world was filled with magic of a different kind. A magic found in family, friendship, and the beauty of the natural world. With the lily petal safe in his satchel, and his heart lighter than it had been in days, Haythem knew that this journey had given him far more than just an ingredient for his potion. It had reminded him of the true meaning of magic, something that wasn't just found in spells and potions, but in the connections we make and the joy we find in the everyday wonders of life. And as the forest whispered its ancient secrets all around him, Haythem smiled, knowing that, in the end, he had gained something far more valuable than the power to teleport. He had gained a new friend and a renewed appreciation for the magic that exists in every corner of the world.